As the tussle for the leadership of the 10th Assembly heats up, President-elect Bola Tinubu has said he has no preferred candidates. Tinubu, represented by his Vice President-elect Kashim Shettima, disclosed this at the meeting with new members-elect to the National Assembly in Abuja. Meanwhile, lawmakers newly elected by or on the platform of the All Progressives Congress have said the party would zone principal offices only after the conclusion of the governorship and state assembly elections taking place on Saturday, March the 18th. Joining us to discuss this is Arise analyst, Mr. Dayo Shobowale. It's a pleasure to have you, Mr. Shobowale. Good afternoon.
My pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm wondering if you foresee a possibility of what played out in 2015 repeating itself. And by that I mean when the party lost control of the affairs within the chambers despite having the most seats in both houses. Do you foresee that happening?
Is the nightmare of that event that is still troubling the APC till now. But I will hope lightning will not strike twice. But then it is still possible. Because you have to recall how that happened. They had won the legislature, National Assembly, as it were. And so they went to congratulate the president-elect, who was sleeping there, so they had to wait for him. But before they could get to the National Assembly, Saraki and Dogara had concluded the election of the principal officers. And the rest is history. Hopefully that will not happen. I think that is why people are treading cautiously. But if they go to Abuja to congratulate Tinubu, even after the election, you don't know what will happen if they don't get to the National Assembly in time. I pray that does not happen. But they are trying to put their house in order. And I think I understand why. Tinubu has said that he has no choice candidate. It was like the Cuban president said that it was for everybody and for nobody. But in this case, I think what Tinubu is trying to put on the ground is that the party will use some criteria to assess its performance, and based on those criteria, the results of those assessment, then they will pick candidates. Since I don't have telepathy with Tinubu, I can't read this mind, but I can speculate. As an analyst, I will advise him to use this strategic management theory they call SWOT analysis. That is, you assess your strengths and weaknesses internally and the opportunities and threats facing you outside. It's used in product management, strategic management, and marketing generally. If he does that, you will see the strength of the party in terms of voters' returns. The states they won, you get me? And the measure of the votes and the places where they lost. You get me? His goal, or the goal of his planning team, you see, the end product of this SWOT analysis is a plan. So at the end of the SWOT analysis, you will be able to know where to strengthen in terms of weaknesses. Then you will know how to tackle the threats you face in Nigeria now, mainly insecurity, unemployment, youth anger, and poverty. You get me? And the threats, those are the threats. See, then the opportunities that you will create to combat them, to get our youth employed, to get our nation safe, and to let people have money in their pocket to feed their families, which appears to be the major things bothering us now. But I think at the end of the day, when he has done the voter assessment in terms of returns, the strength of the party in all the states, then he will find out those who worked in those areas, pencil them down. Then he will do the geopolitical thing. Get me? Because whether you like it or not, the Muslim ticket has upset the geopolitical apple cart. And whether you like it or not, it's creating anger in some sectors and fear in some sectors, And some people just do not know what to make of it. So it has to assuage that anger, that frustration, that apprehension, and balance it. It must balance it. It must balance it. But then in balancing it, it must be pragmatic. Because some people are saying that in the Southeast, the president is from the Southwest, the vice president is from the Northeast, so the choice of Senate president must be from Southeast. That would be suicidal. Because the Labour Party won the entire South, mold both PDP and APC. And then there is this quest for a presidency of an ethnic group from that angle. So I don't think it will be pragmatic of him to pick somebody from a zone where they got zero, literally. So they want to work out something there. That is pragmatism and reality. And like I said, I don't have telepathy with him. But then I will still add another point, the point of synergy. In strategic management, there's something called 2 + 2 = 5. It's not arithmetic now. What it means is that the whole is bigger than the sum of its parts. Which means there shall be a coalition of points, to work as a team. That if they work as a team nationally, they will be stronger more than the geopolitical zones that make up the constituent parameters with which they have to work. So I wish him the best of luck.
All right. Now, one thing that was reported about this gathering is that the focus or the emphasis was not supposed to be about, choosing candidates for Senate President, but rather to charge up the members-elect to go back to their constituencies and make sure that this weekend's election is a success for APC. The target that is being spoken about is 30 states for APC. Right. Now, given what we've seen play out already and the dynamics that are on the ground, is this a realistic target for APC to aim to have 30 governors across Nigeria? Is this realistic, or is this an outrageous ambition?
It is not outrageous. It is just an extravagant.
What's the difference between outrageous and extravagant?
You see, they are ambitious, but it may be possible. But if you look at the way the parties have won in that presidential election, you will see that Nigeria has been divided into 3 power structures. That for the LP, 12, that for the PCP. I'm not talking of majority votes now, or popular votes, but the terms of hand. So how can, it means from their 12 states, they snatch 18 from the others. That's backing at the moon. It's a tall order. But then, they must have their own logistics for arriving at that figure, and I wish them the best of luck. But if you ask PDP too, they may be looking for 32. You get me? But I think ambition should be made of standard stuff, like Caesar said. But it's their right to speculate. And
what's a realistic target for you?
I would say any state that is able to get 20, any party that get 20 governors, that's good enough, fair enough, it's not lopsided. Getting 30, leaving 6 at the Abuja city for the rest of the country. No, that will be a landslide. And I don't say it's landslide. The only landslide that will happen has happened. And that was that of the LP in the presidential election. That was most unexpected, but it's good for our democracy and for our image that you are democratically minded and that you can swing power at the ballot box as a nation.
Well, thank you, Mr. Shobowale. Now, of course, you mentioned your SWOT approach based on the question I asked earlier. But in terms of what was outlined, in terms of the methodology where the leadership of the National Assembly, the president-elect, he's urged the lawmakers to basically network. And then what would happen is that whoever they come up will be presented to the party leadership to ensure the selection is in compliance with the principle of justice, balance, equity, and in line with the zoning arrangement.
Yes.
of course, what you said about SWOT stood out to me, but is there something significant missing regarding what's already been outlined in terms of how it will play out?
I'm trying, when I said SWOT analysis, I'm trying to talk about meritocracy.
Okay.
You get me? See, meritocracy is a doctrine lagging far behind in Nigeria. But then, that was the swing thing for the Muslim ticket.
Yes.
That you don't need to go geopolitical to get the best man for the job. And that the religion does not really matter. And the ticket won. In spite of the fears of people, in spite of the novelty of it. So, at the end of the day, the SWOT analysis, the synergy, all that must aim at achieving the objective of justice, equity, and balance. Because we are a federation, multilingual, multi-ethnic, multicultural. What is on the ground at the end of the day, in terms of that leadership, must reflect justice, balance, and equity, just like I said. Yes.
All right, now very quickly before we go, the article also highlighted speculations. Of course, we're getting there. Very, very soon we will be speculating who's making it into the cabinet. And I bring this up because we're speaking about meritocracy.
Yes.
And in that article, we heard about Femi Gbajabiamila, and rumors that have been making the rounds that he didn't go to collect his certificate of return because there's speculation that he may be in line for appointment of chief of staff. Of course, these are all rumors. He dismissed the rumors and said, he just couldn't make it to pick up his certificate of return. We won't know for sure until the president-elect has been sworn in. But in your view, Femi Gbajabiamila as chief of staff, does that align with the values that you've set out? Very briefly, please.
It aligns with it. He's an eminently qualified person. And he's a well-qualified person, a former speaker. His alibi for not going to Abuja is his personal problem. But I know politically that he's fighting for his political life in Lagos. Together with the president-elect, they are fighting for their political life in Lagos come March 18th. So if they don't go to Abuja, I can understand. But if it is meritocracy, barring geopolitical consideration, Gbajabiamila is eminently qualified to be anything in this country, and he's been speaker. But then, he's letting the cat out of the bag. Maybe you probably know you are the one saying the rumor.
I just read it. It's not available in the open media space.
No, I wouldn't speculate on that score. But if it is a meritocracy, it's eminently qualified.
Well, let's see how things play out.
Yeah, yes.
Arise News analyst, Mr. Dayo Shobowale, thank you so much for joining us on Newsday. We appreciate your time and in-depth analysis as always. Thank you.